Place. Welcome to another episode of Intersections Conversations. I'm your host, William, and today we're delving into a critical topic that lies at the heart of creating inclusive and just workplaces, the delicate balance between procedural fairness, equity, and the pivotal role of dissenting voices. We'll explore how procedural fairness ensures transparent, unbiased processes that allow everyone to be heard. Equity goals, on the other hand, address historical disparities and seek to level the playing field. But what about those voices that challenge the status quo? Dissenters can be powerful agents for change, identifying blind spots and stimulating innovative solutions that align with equity objectives. I do want to take a moment to thank Andre Cohen at andrecohen.com for his support in this podcast. He is a great trainer and teacher, so go check him out. Enough about Andre. Let's get back to it. Procedural fairness and equity goals serve as a dynamic counterbalance within organizations, creating a harmonious synergy that fosters inclusivity and progress. Procedural fairness ensures that decision-making processes are transparent, impartial, and respectful of dissenting voices. It acts as a safeguard against bias and ensures that all employees have a fair opportunity to voice their concerns and influence outcomes. On the other hand, equity goals address historical disparities and inequalities, aiming to level the playing field for underrepresented groups. By combining these principles, organizations can navigate the delicate balance between procedural fairness and equity, valuing dissenting voices as catalysts for change. Dissenters challenge the status quo, identify blind spots, and stimulate innovative solutions that align with equity objectives. Once upon a time, in a bustling corporation, there was a manager named Sarah who was passionate about promoting diversity and equity within her team. She believed in the power of procedural fairness as a means to achieve this goal. Sarah implemented clear and unbiased procedures for promotions and project assignments, ensuring every team member had an equal opportunity to shine. One day, she encountered a dissenting voice, Alex, who questioned some of these procedures. Alex believed that, despite the fairness of the processes, there were historical inequities that needed to be addressed directly. Sarah decided to listen attentively, appreciating Alex's perspective. They engaged in open dialogue and realized that while procedural fairness was vital, equity goals were equally important. Together, they developed a mentorship program targeting underrepresented employees, providing them with additional support to level the playing field. The program's success highlighted the synergy between procedural fairness and equity, showing that both could coexist harmoniously to create a more inclusive and equitable workplace for all. This story illustrates how balancing procedural fairness with equity goals, while valuing dissenting voices, can lead to innovative solutions that foster a workplace where everyone can thrive. When harnessed effectively, dissenting voices become powerful agents for achieving organizational goals, driving a more inclusive and just workplace culture that benefits all employees. Procedural fairness, often referred to as procedural justice, is a concept in the field of law, ethics, and organizational behavior that focuses on the fairness of the processes and procedures used to make decisions or resolve disputes rather than solely on the outcomes of those decisions. It is a fundamental principle in legal systems, ethics, and various aspects of governance, including the workplace and other organizations. Key elements of procedural fairness include: procedural fairness is important in various contexts, including legal proceedings, workplace decisions such as hiring, promotions, and disciplinary actions, dispute resolution, and organizational governance. It contributes to the perception of justice, trust in institutions, and overall satisfaction with decisions, even when the outcomes may not be favorable to all parties involved. In the context of diversity, equity, inclusion, and access, promoting procedural fairness is crucial in ensuring that the processes and procedures related to DI initiatives are transparent, impartial, and inclusive, thereby fostering trust and equity within the organization. Balancing procedural fairness, individual identities, and dissenters in the context of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives can be challenging but essential. Here are some strategies to help strike that balance effectively. Clear and inclusive procedures. Develop clear and inclusive procedures for DEI initiatives. Ensure that these procedures are transparent and consistently applied, promoting procedural fairness. Make them accessible to everyone and actively communicate the process to all stakeholders. Ultimately, the goal is to create an environment where procedural fairness is upheld, individual identities are respected, and dissenters can voice their concerns constructively. This balanced approach can lead to more effective DI initiatives and a more inclusive and equitable workplace. Let's take a look at this in action. Once upon a time, there was a manager named Sarah who was passionate about promoting diversity and equity within her team. She believed in the power of procedural fairness as a means to achieve this goal. Sarah implemented clear and unbiased procedures for promotions and project assignments, ensuring every team member had an equal opportunity to shine. One day, she encountered a dissenting voice, Alex, who questioned some of these procedures. Alex believed that despite the fairness of the processes, there were historical inequities that needed to be addressed directly. Sarah decided to listen attentively, appreciating Alex's perspective. They engaged in open dialogue and realized that while procedural fairness was vital, equity goals were equally important. Together, they developed a mentorship program targeting underrepresented employees, providing them with additional support to level the playing field. The program's success highlighted the synergy between procedural fairness and equity, showing that both could coexist harmoniously to create a more inclusive and equitable workplace for all. This story illustrates how balancing procedural fairness with equity goals, while valuing dissenting voices, can lead to innovative solutions that foster a workplace where everyone can thrive. Procedural fairness and equity are related concepts, but they focus on different aspects of fairness and justice. Here's a breakdown of the key differences between the two. Procedural fairness. Procedural fairness primarily emphasizes the fairness of the processes and procedures used to make decisions or resolve disputes. It is concerned with how decisions are reached rather than the specific outcomes of those decisions. Principles. Procedural fairness is based on principles such as impartiality, transparency, consistency, the opportunity to be heard, and the right to appeal. It ensures that individuals are treated fairly throughout the decision-making process. Example, in a legal context, procedural fairness ensures that a person accused of a crime has a fair trial with unbiased judges, transparent rules, the right to present their case, and the ability to challenge evidence. Equity in the workplace. Equal pay. Address gender and racial wage gaps by ensuring that employees are paid equitably for similar roles and responsibilities, regardless of their gender, race, or other identity-related factors. Diverse recruitment. Promote equity in recruitment by actively seeking a diverse pool of candidates for job openings. Implement strategies to attract candidates from underrepresented backgrounds. Inclusive policies. Develop and enforce policies that promote equity, such as anti-discrimination policies, accommodations for employees with disabilities and parental leave, policies that support work-life balance. Career development. Provide equal opportunities for career development and advancement. Offer mentorship and training programs to all employees, regardless of their background, to help them progress in their careers. Accessibility. Ensure that the workplace is physically and digitally accessible to all employees, including those with disabilities. Make reasonable accommodations as needed to create an inclusive environment. Representation. Strive for diversity and inclusion in leadership positions and decision-making roles within the organization. Encourage employees from underrepresented groups to participate in leadership programs and initiatives. As we close the session, remember that procedural fairness in the workplace involves ensuring that the processes and procedures used for various HR functions are just transparent and consistent. On the other hand, equity focuses on addressing disparities and inequalities in the workplace, including issues related to pay, representation, and opportunities. Combining both concepts creates a workplace that not only follows fair procedures, but also promotes a more inclusive and equitable environment for all employees. Don't forget to subscribe, and share Intersections Conversations to stay tuned for more insightful discussions